message for the ladies and gentlemen around the world and all the ships at sea.
We all make choices, but in the end, our choices make us.
So choose wisely. Subscribe to It's Erik Nagel wherever shows are found, on whatever platform you choose. And as always, leave us a positive review. Would you kindly?
What happened to him? Where'd he go? Where did you go? I wanna know. Boom, 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 boom. Where did you go? Bum, bum, bum. I wanna know, yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Where did you go? I was singing that when you disappeared. I was just going, I wanna know. Where did you go?
Where did I go?
Wah, 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 wah. Put it at 5, so that makes it
5.
Right, that works.
5.
It's like that Pearl Jam song.
5.
5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. I'm like, oh, it's the 5 song. It's about
5.
5.
Johnny 5 alive.
It's Erik Nagel. And it starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear.
Erik Nagel.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of It's Erik Nagel. That is myself. Over in the Upside Down is my buddy Giddles.
How's it going, man?
The phone lines are open. 651 Smithers is the phone number. 651-764-8437 if you wish to be part of the program. It's Erik Nagel across the board on social media. Like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube. I do have to thank everybody who listens to this program because you know how when these shows get distributed, it's not like a live radio thing where you get instant feedback on what's going on the moment you say it. When these shows go out into the ether and online and people are just catching up from, you know, maybe even a month ago, they just heard an episode and they send you questions about stuff and you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you said it on this episode. And then I have to go back to that episode and go, oh yeah, I did say that. I forgot what we were talking about. But I do want to thank everybody, 1, for listening, 2, doing like you always do, telling 2 friends so they can tell 2 friends, etc., etc. And the reason I do the second etc. because it's ridiculous.
Yada, yada, yada.
There
Subscribers.
You go. Thank you. Yay, God. Anyway, so yes, thank you for that. Thank you for everybody who helped us with the YouTube channel. Really did help us a lot, and we do appreciate it. We're almost close to the watch hours now. We set a playlist on the YouTube channel that says all, and it's just everything that's on the fucking channel. So you can play that at your work computer. Just turn off your monitor and walk away. Just let it run all night. Give us the hours, and once we hit that goal, then we're done. We won't ask you for anything anymore. We'll leave you alone for a while.
Until we need blood.
Until
we'll
we need blood. Exactly. So thank you, everybody, for doing that. But also, I've seen a big uptick in the Facebook activity. And it's because on the Facebook, we're constantly updating as things happen. And to get it out there so everybody can know what's going on before we can even get to the show to do it. So all the new movie trailers, any kind of promos that come out, new artwork, other things that are happening in life, throw it right up there. It's Erik Nagel on Facebook if you want to follow that. It's actually grown into a nice group, and everybody who's been participating and commenting and what have you, been pretty cool. So I wanted to thank everybody for being a part of that and joining us on this ridiculousness that we do. And I think that's about it. Also, I have a couple of thank yous for people who send in stuff to us. We have our old pal. He was a O&A fan. I've played online on Xbox with him many times. A guy named NorCal Murph. That's his handle. And he sent some beers from the northern areas of California, from the Sacramento area, I believe.
Ooh, what'd you get?
Shoot, I should have had them in here before I mentioned that. I'll grab them during the break. But he sent me some nice California beers.
California beers.
And I think I'm going to lend some to our pal, Matt OG. I was letting you do the background bed.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to lend some over to our pal, Matt OG, on his Twitch channel, Geek Stuff OG, as he's been really feeding his intoxication need once a week, where he has specialty cocktails made during his fireside chats. Matt's
Hey,
become
it's a great thing.
Matt's become a very fancy gentleman in a little amount of time. So he's going to switch it up between the cocktails and some new beers. So I'm going to give a couple of them over there so he can talk about that and probably expose that and us.
You can send your buddy Giddle some beers. He likes beers.
We can definitely do that. People want to send Giddle some beers. Look, we have an address for the studio. Just find us on, hit us up somewhere on Twitter, Instagram, something like that. We'll give you the address. You can mail whatever you'd like to send us here. And have another package here. I got to say thank you to another pal of ours, Blue Healer, longtime O&A fan and a fan of this program as well. Sent a package here for the consumer, which I'm opening as we do this.
Ooh, look at that.
Got some new stuff for us to try.
Holy chip.
Now, you know Grippos chips?
Yeah.
Right? I think they're out in New Orleans, right? I think they're a New Orleans chip. And sometimes you can find their chips all over the place, like the crazy flavors. But
It says on the bag where it's from. You have it right in front of you.
That's a good call. I was trying to do it from memory. Wow, I wasn't even close. Cincinnati, Ohio.
There you go.
There you go. So anyway, you find some good flavors now and then in some delis and bodegas. You'll find them mixed in with the Lay's or the Utz or the Hers chips. And sometimes they have some good flavors, like any of these cool chip companies, but they're only in certain areas, just based on, their distribution or what areas like what. So he sent some Grippos chips. This one is Carolina Classic Barbecue Potato Chips.
Yo, those look good.
Ooh, that could be really good. Sweet, spicy, and tangy. Carolina barbecue is pretty much like vinegar and mustard, right? Aren't they? Isn't that what they're based?
Usually, it's usually I think more mustard based.
Yeah. I can't wait to try that. What do we got here? Barbecue cheese nibs. NIB.
Nibs?
Yeah, they look like Cheetos. I think they're barbecue flavored Cheetos. Or
Ooh, those look
cheese
good.
puffs. Cheesy puffs.
Oh yeah, those look awesome. It's got a guy grilling them on the package, so you know that they're grilled. Do they have grill marks on each one? Because that would be pretty awesome.
They'd be flame broiled like Burger King.
Oh yeah.
This one is sweet Maui onion style wavy potato chips.
Are those Grippos also?
Yes, they are. What do we got here?
Was that a can of dog food?
It is. No, it's not. What is this one here? This is the regular Grippos. Oh, these are the regular barbecue chips. These I've had before. The regular ones I've had.
Yeah, I've had those before.
Why did I think they were New? Oh, they have a voodoo chip.
You're thinking of Zappos or whatever those are.
Is that what I'm thinking of? That have the voodoo chips?
Yeah, because they have a very similar looking logo.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. My bad. I got it confused then. So I was thinking of the Zappos chips. Those are the ones I think that are out of New Orleans.
Yeah.
All right. Now I remember this thing because Healer and I had a conversation. We were talking about Skyline Chili, which is a very famous...
Zaps chips, not Zappos.
Zaps chips. We were talking about Skyline Chili, and it's a very famous brand of, style of chili.
Very unique.
Very unique, and it stands out because it's in an area that you would not expect to be known for barbecue or chili or anything like that. So he sent me an official can of Skyline Chili.
Nice.
Now, from what I remember being told, isn't it just chili with cinnamon in it or something?
Yeah, it's got some cinnamon in it, and it has almost has like a chocolatey, like sweet taste to it. It's more of like a sauce, to be honest. It's not really hearty like a chili. I'm kind of on the fence about it. I have a lot of friends from Ohio, and they love it. And you kind of eat it with spaghetti with cheese on it.
That sounds horrible.
That's how you eat it.
So no,
At least that's how my friends ate it. If that's not how you eat it, then I'm sorry, my friends are idiots. But that's how I was told to eat it. You eat it over with pasta with like cheese.
Well, there's a recipe on the back here for putting it over a hot dog.
Yeah, I mean it's very like a chili
chili.
dog-esque type of sauce. It's very liquidy. Oh, well, we get the ASMR videos now, Eric. Are we going to be on Twitch? ASMR. Oh, we got a can of chili here.
We do.
Shake the can of chili, Eric. That's not a can of chili.
I know this is not a can of chili.
Sucks to your ass, Mar.
I'm going to open the can of chili.
Oh no, what's that?
That is your heavy bladder. Giggles has to go to the bathroom. Now I'm going.
This is all the rage on the internet.
Now I'm gonna gently shake the chili. Now I'm aggressively gonna shake the chili.
Ugh, it's so gross. Ugh, I'm so grossed out by that sound.
We just got 2 million subscribers.
Yeah, there we go. It's Erik Nagel, ASMR.
It's so dumb. AMSR, whatever it is. ASMR is so dumb.
So weird.
I don't get it. Like
People like it.
You
People
ever
like it.
have that delicate feel? Like I've had this creep me out one time or another, where if you touch things, like I don't know, if you just put your fingers close together like this, but just gently kind of, gently kind of hover over your fingers like this, where you can feel that something's there, but you're not quite touching, and then you touch again, and it feels a little weird. You know what I'm talking about?
No, you're nuts.
It's this weird sensory shit.
But that's not ASMR. That's magic.
Is it magic?
I don't know.
I've got the magic in me, according to B.O.B.
There you go.
And River.
Are you down with B.O.B.?
Yeah, you know me.
There you go.
But yeah, that stuff is so dumb. Yeah, people every
time I open up my Twitch, it's like one of the top streamers. It's like, oh, watch this person. And then I'll always click on it, and it's always something stupid, like somebody like shaving a balloon, or like stabbing a watermelon, or just spray painting an onion. Like none of it makes any sense.
I don't get it.
But really people like it. I mean, it just, I don't know. It seems like weird sound porn to me.
I was looking up dog Instagram stuff, as one would do. If you're not a cat person, you look up dog Instagram stuff.
I was just looking up dog Instagram stuff, as you do.
As you do. You see things where dogs are in cute outfits. They're
this is fantastic.
They're rumbling around
you all day, just searching hashtag French bulldogs.
I follow a lot of those accounts. I don't even need to search the hashtags. But sometimes you want something new because you've seen everything currently out right now. Anyway, so looking through, like dog Instagrams and what have you, and then I came across one where all they do is do the ASMR with their dog, right? So they have, they have a microphone, and it's an expensive microphone too. It's those RE20 ones that a lot of radio stations have, but it's here sideways, right? And the dog's just sitting there, very well behaved, and they put down food, and the dog sits there, kind of paws the food a little bit, and then starts eating it. And that's the whole ASMR. But on their Instagram videos, they put in little captions, like the dog is speaking or what his thoughts are.
Oh, and it's never what the dog's thinking.
It's never, because
it's never even close.
It all started with
dog's not thinking that shit at all.
It all started with the cat Ken has cheeseburger, right? And then everybody was speaking that dumb, dialect. But then they do it for the dogs. They have to make it more ridiculous because now it's a dog.
Dog goof. Be like food, yum.
This is Fluffy Boy. I like this boy. It's like, your dog's probably a lot smarter than you're giving it credit for. Plus, you're a bad parent by doing that.
You can't use that word, Eric.
Fluffy Boy?
You know the word.
Just say the word. Oh, Susu Studio.
That's it. You said it.
Damn it. Did I win the secret?
Now Candyman's going to
I said the secret word. Everyone's going to go crazy.
Yeah, if you say Susu Studio 3 times in your bathroom and then shut the lights off,
then you have just a stroke.
Yeah.
Apologies to people with strokes. Moving on. So, yes, thank you to Healer. Thank you to NorCal Murph. We're going to do consumer reviews for that. And then some of the beer stuff's going to go over to Geek Stuff OG for his fireside chats over on Twitch there. Is there anyone else I have to thank? Just the listeners in general. Everybody's been really cool, helping out, really enjoying the show, spreading the word. Can't thank you enough. And we will continue to try to not sound too horrible and disappoint you and your friends.
Any updates on when we're going to be ready to go live?
I thought we were going to be able to do it this week, but up until the time that we were recording here, Gittle's schedule was a little all over the place. So I didn't make any firm commitment to do any of those things. I'm going to try to finalize everything this weekend so we can be ready to go for next week.
Yay.
So if we have a set time ready to go, I can, sit down and say, okay, here we're going to go. I think we're going to have to set up a day just to do a test run where,
we could do that.
Patch in and we'll just see how the cameras look and And
I mean, we should probably do a test run, not just be like, hey, let's just go live, like.
It's just one giant eyeball, and then it's the back of the room, where nobody's there.
It's like the guy with the wings on his arms and jumping off the cliff trying to fly. Like, yeah, we're not going to test this out. We're just going to go right for it. And boom, right head first into the sand. No, we're going to test this first, Eric.
Instant death. Look, ironically, he died, but he lives on the internet now. He lives on forever.
Yeah.
So technically, he got what he wanted. No, he wanted to fly. He didn't want to live in, for the rest of his life.
In the internet.
I think that's it on that stuff. Other things going on life-wise. How have you been? How's things going?
I'm good, man. Sorry, I'm eating a pretzel.
Because that's what you do. You're doing your own ASMR over on that side there?
Yeah. No, it's delicious.
How's life been going?
Life is, good. Getting into the busy season at work, so it's kind of nice. And
where are you at with your cooking stuff?
Well, I've had a little bit of a hang up this month because I had a bunch of roommates move out, and I've been having new roommates move in all month, and I have to renegotiate when I'm going to set up a schedule for when I could do this so that it works around everyone's schedule. Because I had everything worked out with everyone else who was here, but now I have all these new people, and so I just have to, go over that all again. That hey, on this day I need to use this from this time to this time because they all cook a lot too, and it's different than my last set of roommates. So I just gotta work some out, play some politics, but hopefully get it started within the next week or two.
Are they cool people? Okay, we'll leave that alone then.
Yeah.
So you still have Gittle's cooking show.
That's gonna be coming soon. I have started just streaming, playing some video games and stuff like that in the meantime while waiting for that, just so I can get used to the software. So I do stream playing some Magic online and doing some other stuff. So if you follow me, you can go to Twitch TV /GittleBase and follow me there.
Okay. Well, I had some weird life stuff happen this week. One of which is station I used to work at in the late 90s, mid to late 90s, called WPLJ here in New York City.
I know WPLJ.
And I've also brought it to the Opie and Anthony world when we were doing Jocktober for the morning show, Scott and Todd. Now, it's no secret that pretty much I don't think I would ever have thought to do radio or be in radio if it wasn't for Scott Shannon. I discovered him as a really little kid and listened to him for forever. It's one of my biggest influences, mentor, if you will, for doing radio and doing things the right way, and just a bit of the showmanship to how you do all of this. Well, during the course of Opie and Anthony, Scott and Todd kind of split up. Out of nowhere, it was being known that Scott was retiring or leaving, if you will, and it was almost immediately. He said it on a Thursday and he was gone on a Friday, right?
Yeah,
really fast. And it's not like he just got fired or if this was a layoff kind of thing. Scott's a legend in this business, and not just in New York. In the entire industry, people know who he is. He had he still has a very successful career, but he was a trailblazer in the industry. Everyone always likes to make fun of the morning zoo format when they say, oh, they're doing this hokey morning zoo format. One, nobody's doing the morning zoo format. It's been dead for almost 15 years. So that analogy is old and just as old as the format is. So that needs to move on from your vernacular.
Are people even listening to radio anymore?
They are, but not in the ways you think.
It always sounds like there's still a morning zoo type show, but it could just be a regular chattery show. And I'm just not, catching the full gist of it.
But he invented that morning zoo format. He was really the first guy to do that, to figure that out about layers of production and having writers and jingles and fake commercials and fake phone calls. Nobody was doing that before he figured out to do all that. And then when he became super successful in New York City doing it, everyone decided to copy it and just cut paste to stations all around the country.
Yeah.
And like everything, when there's something good, everybody does a knockoff. It dilutes it, and then the original becomes a joke, or it becomes old and outdated by no means of its own. It's still, perfectly good. Anyway, so he invented that. Then he went over to PLJ in the early 90s and was there for 23 years with Todd. And so his exit seemed a little bit surprising when it was just like, hey, tomorrow's my last day, and that will be that. Didn't say a word. So he leaves. They do a somewhat of a big thank you to him, I guess. It wasn't a highlight show. It wasn't a retrospective. It was nothing. It was just like a regular show, and then he said some words, and then he left. Didn't know what the hell was going on, so I reached out to him and found out what was going on. I get him on Opie and Anthony not too much later, and he's on the show. He's having a good time with O&A, and it just explains that pretty much that he was kicked out.
Yeah.
Todd Pettengill was working behind the scenes to try to get Scott out of the door there so he could have the main seat for the morning show, and he was going to do this hipper, younger, more modern, more social media intensive kind of show, and
hitting all the keywords.
Right. And, he looks very metrosexual as it is. And then he has, 3 really attractive girls on the show, and then some guys that are wearing clothing that normal guys don't normally wear who are also on the show, and everything just looks very metro.
What kind of clothes that guys don't normally wear?
Like guys like us.
Attire, like just normal people.
Like Burberry, however you pronounce it. Just like really posh looking dress shirts.
Oh, okay.
And,
I don't do that.
They have expensive rimmed glasses, if you will, or very fancy leather shoes that are going with their $400 designer jeans. That kind of look,
Yeah. Ugh.
So,
no thanks.
He's going to launch. He launches, I think, a week after. No. Scott left at I think at the end of the first, I think it was February 7th, 2014. Todd debuted with his brand new concept on the 24th of that month. So not that much time, about a week or two in between. And it's called the uncreatively thought out The Todd Show.
Oh, wow. The Todd Show.
Right. And
What
his logo is all light blue and pink. And in true Todd fashion, he can't get out of his own way. Todd fancies himself as an all-around entertainer. He's not a comic, but he's a singer, he's a dancer, he's a performer, he's all of these things.
Gotcha.
The same guys
like Wayne Brady, like he could do it all.
Yeah. Who's like, I could do everything. Cool. You're doing dinner theater and some shows down in that Yakov Smirnoff casino, because that's the only places that want to hire an all-around entertainer.
Yeah.
You're not going to do Vegas because they just spent a few $1 million to do a residency with Britney. Now, some old school hip hop is going to do a residency there. That mixtape tour that's out there, like Salt and Pepper and Kid and Play and all that. They're going to do a month in Vegas. Like, you're paying top dollar for all these acts that were huge at one point and can be big again that people have interest in. And you come out there and start singing "Coffee in a Cardboard Cup." It's like, no. And you're doing a little soft shoe. Who cares?
Yeah. Not into it.
So anyway, he can't get out of his own way, and he thinks that he's just this brilliant mind and brilliant talent that he has to do this whole over the top, dramatic, schlocky, trying to be emotional, tug on your heartstrings kind of intro for his show. And when this happened, the second they went to commercial, I stopped the recording and ran that into the studio for O&A to hear, because this is one of the biggest abominations I've ever heard in this business. And of course, we had a laugh at this expense.
A laugh.
But the thing is this, it's 5 years later. That audio is still quoted to this day, not just by fans of the Opie and Anthony show, not just by myself, but people who were maybe never fans of the Opie and Anthony show, or don't live in this market, so they never heard of Scott and Todd. But that thing went around the internet for so long. It's still going around there because I put the audio up again. It disappeared for some reason, but I just put it back up there. You can find it on IHeartRadio on Twitter. I'm going to play it for you right now. And it is one of the most fantastically horrible pieces of production.
Just like douche chills, how bad it is.
It's douche chills, and it's somebody that thinks that they're such an influence. They hold such a stranglehold over people's attention span and people's hearts and minds. Like, I am so important to these people's lives that I am bringing this station back to its greatness that it once had.
Ugh.
Now, hang on a second, because he says this.
On.
He brings it back to its former glory. Let's, for that one little moment there, put a pin in it. Back to its former glory. You were the morning host for 24 years on that station. So you're saying you're bringing it back to its former glory because you fucked it up for 24 years? You idiot. Here's the thing with Scott and Todd, right? Mm-hmm. It's not everybody's taste, but they were not a horrible show compared to a lot of other shows out there, right? They were a very well-produced show, very well-run show. It was like nothing was loose. It was very tight, very orchestrated, very mechanical. It had top-of-the-line jingles, production, whatever. Now, you may not enjoy that style of entertainment, but you can't say that they were a poorly run show, right? They were not at all. His phone scams were a little different. Those took you out of there. But everything else that they were doing that Scott was pretty much orchestrating for as the conductor for all this thing, they were a well put together show. For 24 years, you're saying this thing sucked, and now you're going to make it good again. Yet you were the main cause of why this damn thing sucked.
Yeah, I mean, I never really listened to either of them.
Right.
But I heard him playing in the bodega one morning when I was getting a coffee.
Right.
And I was like, man, this show is terrible.
So Todd does this whole schlocky thing here. I'm going to play it for you now, and then we'll comment right after this.
This radio station has been home to some of the greatest broadcasts in the history of our industry. The ghosts of legends walk these hallowed halls, and the whispers of greatness can be heard at every sunrise. Yet there are some people who say that what we're attempting to do can't be done, that you can't save a dying industry or reinvent a medium whose time has seemingly passed. They believe that satellite and digital radio have already robbed us of our audience, and that our best days are behind us. Well, I got news for you. These battle-tested microphones could tell 1,000 stories, but none greater than the unwritten story about to be told. And I make you this promise on the 24th day of February 2014. I say to those people and others like them, you are wrong, and here's why. As I speak to you just after 6 a.m. on a typical Monday morning, somewhere out there is a mom who's been up all night with a sick kid, or a dad who's coming home from his second job who just wants to take a minute to laugh with someone who feels like family. I believe they want to know that the people in this room feel what they feel, live what they live, and see what they see. And you can't do that in some windowless, colorless, passionless makeshift studio that used to be a coat closet. I, for one, don't believe that the people of the tri-state area want to listen to some dillweed who doesn't know the difference between a TV show and the real Jersey Shore. So to paraphrase a scene from one of my favorite movies, this is our opportunity to rise from the ashes and grab glory. We are
New York!
We are
New Jersey!
We are
Long Island!
We are
Connecticut!
We are you. Turn off your Spotify, shut down your Pandora, and you can't be serious, XM. New York's hometown radio station is back. It's time to show them how it's done.
That was one of the worst things I've ever heard. I can't believe that is real, that someone said that can go out on the air.
Yeah.
Like, I thought you were like, playing it up how bad it was. This was something that you'd see in the background of like an Adult Swim show. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, oh, look at this horrible thing playing in the background. Because it's so pompous and horrible. It's like, right now there's a sick mother or a mother up with her sick child and she just wants to listen to the radio. Blah, blah, blah.
Have a laugh with someone that feels like family.
Ugh. If someone feels like family, it's just going to yell at you. That's what it's going to be like.
So that's how his first show started.
Ugh. That's one of the worst things ever.
I have his whole entire first show that I put up on YouTube. Just go through the IHeartRadio Twitter. You'll see it on the timeline there if you want to hear the entire show. So he does this show, right? 10 months later, they kill the show. Going into the Christmas break of 2014, going, holidays into 2015.
They should have killed it right after that segment. As soon as that thing played, they should have just walked in and just shot him.
Hit the button, it goes to a sweeper, and then you never heard from him again. Wait, what happened to that little speech? Nope, never happened.
Ejector seat, just right through the floor.
We're now our heavy metal format. What? It was that bad? You had to flip the format?
Yeah, get out.
Anyway, so 10 months goes by. They kill the Todd Show. Now they pair him up with somebody. This lady, Jade Donovan, who I'm friends with. And so they do Todd and Jade in the morning starting in January. I think it was January 5th of 2015. Now, I'll say this. Jade did her best. This was a great opportunity for her to come from Tampa to New York City to work in New York City radio. And look, she did it for 4 years. And she really did her best. I mean, they neutered her. Compared to what she used to do, I heard some of her audio from her show in Tampa and in the past. They really kind of, or not, what is it for female? Spayed. They spayed her pretty bad. Like, she was just not allowed to do or say the things that she really wanted to do or say.
That's awful.
So then you fast forward to beginning of 2019. Now, PLJ was never really that stellar of a station. When Scott and Todd were the morning show, they weren't, they were in the top 10 for morning shows, but the station usually was never in the top 10. But the lack of ratings, I guess, overall for the station was made up in the billing that the station used to make. It was an insane amount of billing that this station had. So Scott and Todd were allowed to be on for 23 years. They could have went to 25 if Todd hadn't been a dick about everything, because they were making millions of dollars. They had all what they call the blue chip companies. They had Disney, they had Universal, they had all the car companies, they had McDonald's, they had Pepsi and Coca-Cola. They had all these ones that everybody wants, but they don't advertise just on any radio station because you never know who's going to say what. But they had all this top tier advertising. They made so much money at that station. He kicks Scott out, and then you have these, 4 or 5 years of the Todd Show / Todd and Jade. Beginning of 2019, like I said, it was announced that Cumulus Media was going to sell this station and another station they had called Nash, which was a country station. Smaller signal, and I think it was out of New Jersey. They sold Nash to Entercom, which used to be CBS Radio. So now it's existing in the same country format, just relabeled, rebranded, all that stuff, and Entercom runs it. PLJ has been around for almost 50 years. It was a rock station up until 83, I think, and then it became a CHR and then a top 40 kind of a station. It's been around for a long time in this market. They announced that the station's going to be sold, and it was sold to a company called EMF.
You're unbelievable.
Okay.
It's a Christian broadcast company.
Oh, no.
So they were waiting at this
That's
point.
the nail in the cross.
It was announced that the stations were being sold and were sold. What they were waiting for was the SEC, and then the FCC had to approve everything. So I guess they just got. I heard it was going to be around June 1st. So I guess they got the FCC stuff all approved and out of the way, because this week they made an announcement that the station, for people who didn't know, and this, some of this might be inside baseball here for you, but that the station was going to be ending as of May 31st, 2019. That they were going to be there all the way to the very end, and then the station's going to, I guess, what they call stunting, which is where they don't really have a format. They throw a bunch of weird, ridiculous stuff in until the new format kicks in.
Do you know what the new format is yet?
It's going to be Christian music, Christian broadcasting. So it's going to be a mix of Christian music and Christian-based talk programming.
On 95.5 in the city?
Yep.
That's so odd.
And
is this the market for it? Like, I don't feel like this is the market at all for that.
I don't know. I really don't know. But the way radio has devolved so much that you can't do personality programming in the sense of like what we were used to. Even music's not helping them out. Remember, they used to always say, well, if the talk format doesn't work or if the Spanish format's not working, just switch it to music. Music's a quick fix. It's easy to bill and you don't need personalities and talent or whatever. It doesn't matter. But those aren't the days anymore because the music's not even helping. So you don't have a talk station like you used to have with Howard and with us with O&A or Don and Mike and Ron and Fez and other shows of that cloth from around the country. You don't have that anymore. Your personality programming is in sports talk, and even that's risky because in the last handful of years, there's been people fired from the sports talk stations around the country because of commentary and things that they've said. You have Spanish programming, you have political programming, and you have news programming. As far as your talk stuff, that's what you're left with. And it's just shrinking more and more and more. So if you don't have a format that's working, more times than not, it's going to flip to Spanish. It's going to become a sports or a news talk station, depending on the market. Now, I never saw this coming, but now you got Christian broadcasting. PLJ is now going to become a station called K-Love.
Ugh.
Yeah.
K-Love.
It's a moniker that they cut and paste to stations that they own and run around the country. So this is going to be a K-Love station. PLJ is what... it's a 50,000 watt station, which means this. It's a very powerful signal. You won't get a lot of interference unless you're really far away from it. But at night, when the certain signals power down, if you're on the coast, so say you're in New York City, it broadcasts. You can be in Baltimore at night on the coast and still pick up PLJ, even maybe going down through the DC area.
Yeah, I always remember like we would drive down to Florida and we'd always like see how long we could listen to a station before we'd finally lose it.
Yeah, of course.
Be like, oh, do we still get Z100? Let's check. Oh no, we lost.
And if you used to drive down to Florida every year with your family like we did, you always had little notes of this frequency was this station that played this music. So when we get to Fayetteville, North Carolina, we flip over to this station. We could write it down to the South Carolina border. Then we got to flip over to this station.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, when you get to the South Carolina, Georgia border, there's nothing there. It's just country music or you're not picking up anything. But when you hit Florida and then you cross that line and you get to the Florida Welcome Center, you go out, you stretch, you pee, you get free orange juice and grapefruit juice, you flip to this channel and you head on down to wherever your final destination is going to be. Orlando, Daytona Beach, New Smyrna Beach. Some of those ID. What was that ID for Real Radio down there? Cocoa Beach, Orlando, like that. Really nerdy radio stuff. Anyway, so they made the announcement this past week that the station's going down, and in true form, it's Todd again leading the announcement that the station's going to go away, and of course, he has to make it about himself again.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Todd and Jade in the morning on 95.5 PLJ. Here's Todd with a special announcement.
The rumors you've been hearing are true. As hard as it is to believe, WPLJ will be going away on Friday, May 31st. The format and personalities that you've come to love over the years will no longer broadcast on 95.5.
I said, darling,
It's 95.5 WPLJ, along with New York's best rock, WPLJ New York.
I'm Shelley Sunstein, WPLJ News.
I'm Jim Kerr. This is WPLJ, 3 before 7 o'clock. Good morning to you. Here's Journeyman, faithfully, WPLJ.
Most Music Power 95 with Pat St. John. Thank you for spending your weekend with us.
Power 95, WPLJ Domino's on your radio with New Kids on the Block concert tickets bulging out of my pocket, among other things. Scott and Todd in the morning, 95.5 PLJ.
48 years ago, this iconic radio station signed on the air. And we can't help but think of all the music, the personalities, the concerts, the prizes, all the fun we had. We had a great time together, and we will never forget those times. The coming weeks will bring the end. And over the years, we've made some incredible memories. And we're so glad that we became the best of friends. We never took your friendship or loyalty for granted, and we will be forever grateful. We'll pass on more information as we get it. Until then, from all of us at 95.5 PLJ, thank you for listening.
This guy is the worst. That was just so... Like, I don't know how to describe how douchey. Just like, the music, like, dun, dun, dun. So you've heard, we are disappearing. Like, oh, it's just so stupid.
But we're letting you know that we're your friends. We're concerned, and we're going to be with you through every step of the way.
Oh, please don't be anywhere near me.
You're not dealing with a tragedy. Somebody didn't die. You're not helping a grieving widow or somebody that lost their child to disease.
Ugh, that was terrible. Just the dramatic music, and he's playing it like a nightly news piece, like those, like the heart-tugging pieces that they always do on the nightly news, where it's just like, there's this woman, she's never received mail for 30 years, and someone's going to send her some letters. Blah, blah, blah. It's like that kind of stupid shit.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, this is horrible. But I didn't want to bring because who cares about local radio to the rest of the world? But this is such a unique situation about how ridiculously bad New York. Here's the thing: New York is like the smallest. No, it's like the largest small town market in the world. Some of the stuff that happens on New York radio, because everybody thinks like, oh, New York radio, these legendary stations and call letters and personalities and all this. And there are. I'm not saying there aren't. There's been an amazing history of broadcasting coming out of New York. But then you have stuff like this that makes it just sound like you took some rinky-dink station out of like Toledo, Ohio, and amplified it on the world stage. And you're like, whoa, what did we just do here? It's the largest small town market in the world.
Oof. That was something, man.
It is. Well, that station's going away as of May 31st. But the fun thing is this. Because I used to work there at one point.
Like, what are you hoping to get from the studio? Like, do you have like swag that like they're going to get rid of like a PLJ sign or a chair or a microphone thing? Because like I know you like getting that stuff,
but I like getting it at the places that I'm still working at as I'm going to leave. I haven't worked at PLJ since 1990. What was it? 98. So it's been 20 years since I was at that station.
Yeah, but you can still steal something.
How? I don't have access. I can't just go, hello, I'm here to steal stuff.
Yeah, they'll be like, we don't care.
I'll just sit there. I'll wear the custodian's outfit and have a big garbage can with a broom hanging out. I'm just here to mop the floors.
Just show up, like, pull out your badge, be like, history inspector, and they'll be like, oh, okay, sure, you can go look at the history of this place. Then you go in there and you take all their shit.
Yeah, and then when they find out, the person at the front desk goes, wait a minute, that's not the history inspector.
Exactly.
I don't know if I want.
And here you are with a windsock.
Look, if they're going to do like they did when Howard was leaving CBS.
Blow it up?
Well, no, they threw a lot of his shit into a dumpster downstairs.
Yeah, it's usually what they do. They're not keeping that shit.
Well, somebody tipped me off that they were gutting Howard's studio that week. And so I managed to sneak up there, thanks to the help of somebody I know who was working there at the time. But I have photos of them disassembling Howard's original studio.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
then downstairs where the cars would park, they just had big dumpster bins. And I remember them throwing out like his Las Vegas set that you would see on the E! Show, where they would do his shows live from Las Vegas, like at the Hard Rock Casino or something like that. His big sign that said Howard Stern that looked like the Vegas sign. They were throwing all of that into the dumpster.
Yep.
And there was a handful of guys down there that knew that was going on. And they were just diving into the thing and taking all this stuff. And I was upstairs and wound up getting stuff from the office before it shipped over to Sirius. There was boxes laying there and unsealed. And I kind of maybe...
Yeah, you think the stuff that wasn't garbage. You think the stuff that wasn't taped shut yet.
I do have a sign. I've never told anybody this. I have something...
You're doing it now.
I have something that you used to see a lot on the old E! Show. And it was this stainless steel plaque, professionally, very well engraved. It was on the door to the studio. And it said, from the top of the Howard Stern building ever since 1996. That's what's on the thing here. I have it. I got to find where it is, but I have it.
Of course you do.
There was a few things there. There's some other stuff that I have
you could probably get enough money to get us a nice studio by selling that on eBay.
I don't think I'll ever want to sell that, though.
Exactly.
I don't want.
It's
I
worthless.
didn't take
and priceless.
I didn't take that stuff to try to flip it. I took it because it meant something to me.
Oh, I know.
But they were just sitting in boxes in the back where Scott, the engineer, had this studio in the back there. And then across from that, there were just these smaller closet areas that were left open. And boxes were just sitting there, like toppled over. Because I'm guessing other K-Rock employees were looting through that shit there, too.
Of course they were.
But I saw the boxes open.
It was like fucking supermarket sweep in there. Everyone's just throwing everything they get in the cart and getting out.
Yeah, so I took it. I have a bunch of cool Howard stuff from that time. Anyway, that wasn't the point. The point is, if they have a PLJ rummage sale, or what is it, fire sale, whatever it's called, where they throw everything out there on the front, right there in front of Madison Square Garden, and say, take what you want, I'll go right down there and help myself aplenty.
Oh, I know you will.
But, yeah, other than that, I don't think I really want anything from that station. The station ends on the 31st, and then there's a party coming up. I think in about a week. What's today's date here? Yeah, in about 2 weeks. I got invited to because I was a former employee. And they invited all these former employees to come back to this big...
Is Trevor going to be there?
Trevor never worked there.
Oh, he didn't work there.
No, and I asked Trevor if he wanted to be my guest, but Trevor's got to work at night, so he can't come to the...
What day is this? Can I be your guest? I'll wear a gown.
You want to go to this?
When is it?
I'm not going to say it on the air here, but I'll give you the information.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested.
Okay, maybe we'll go.
What's the day?
I'm not saying that either.
No, I mean like of the week. Oh. Is it like middle of the week? Is it a weekend?
Let me look at the calendar real quick. It would be a Tuesday.
Oh yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, it's a Tuesday. That'll be fun if you want to come check it out.
Yeah, I definitely do.
Anyway, so that was just a little bit of my life. I've been very invested in this station for a long, long time, and now it's going the way of the dodo.
Dodo.
At least you got to hear that horrible audio. If anything else comes around...
That audio is woof.
Dude, it's legendary. I couldn't believe that happened. I could not bring that to Opie and Anthony fast enough.
Yeah, I mean, you're like when, you see the people from like the White House, like running, like the press kids, like trying to get to the news first or whatever it is. Now,
I will say this. If you do seek out the first Todd show on one of the YouTube channels I have, if you do seek that out, the infamous bit is that what you heard, the big montage of the reenactment of We Are Marshall, right at the end. What you didn't hear was that after that was done, a little sweeper played with the new announcement of the Todd Show on PLJ. But right after that was a song parody of Let It Go from Frozen about the radio station. And it's not as douchey as that first piece, but if that first piece was never played, you would listen to this and go, oh my God, what schlock is this? This is garbage. The singing with whoever the girl was singing it did a very good job because that's her job. She sounds like a professional singer. Whoever wrote it should not be doing anything in this business anymore. And the fact that it played on Todd's show really kind of like, okay, I get it. It's part of his thing. It's equally awful.
Ugh, it sounds terrible. It all sounds terrible, Eric.
It is. It's all terrible. But nonetheless, moving on from that, some other things going on in the world here. Social media stuff. In the last week or so, there's been some really crazy stuff going on with Facebook, with Instagram.
What crazy stuff, Eric?
Now, for those who don't know, Facebook owns Instagram. Most people do, but a lot of people may not. So I'm just filling you in there. So first, it starts within the last week that Facebook makes the announcement that they're going to remove these right-leaning personas off of Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Which quickly had to be corrected because one of the persons they listed as being eliminated and banned from Facebook was not a right-leaning person at all. So they listed Farrakhan, who's not right-leaning.
Well, no, they were just getting extremists off, and majority of them happened to be right-wing people.
Yeah, but the original posting said right-wing.
Yeah.
And that quickly had to be changed because that went all over the news that's what they were saying. Quickly had to be changed because the wording then changed to people that Facebook viewed as being dangerous. Right? Because they had Farrakhan on
extremists.
Right. So exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's all in the wording. I get what they were doing, but the wording was completely wrong and people blew up on it. So they had Farrakhan, they had Milo Yiannopoulos, or Yiannopoulos, however you pronounce his last name. Alex Jones, who was pretty much already off of that as it was, but what they did was go a step further so that not just specifically Alex Jones, but other shows that were under the InfoWars banner for their podcasts, whether they were as bad as Alex was or whatever direction they were going, if they were under that banner, they got wiped out of Facebook too. Yeah. So they were banned. Gavin McInnes is also another major name that was removed off of there. So they're going after things like that. So anything that's really, I mean, like, I don't know how to put it.
Extremists?
Yeah, but it goes a little bit further than that. You can have an extremist point of view. I think it's more people that actually take the actions of being extremists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, this is...
Because it's one thing when you say extremist stuff, but it's another thing when you're one of those guys that say extremist stuff and then you go out and do demonstrations. You show up to like that kind of thing. It's more involved than just speaking it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what like Milo and those people do. They would go and like interrupt things and, go and provoke people like all the time.
Yeah,
Are you still having trouble with your mic stand?
Yeah, it's tipping over a little bit. Milo had the issues. Remember, there were some riots and stuff over in Berkeley, in California.
Yeah.
He was invited to go speak because he had a book that was coming out, and he was invited to speak at certain places, and he would go to speak at these places, and there would be huge protests for when, like, his bus would show up at whatever the venue was, and they would go crazy, and they would start throwing things, and there were fights, and there were fires, and there was Antifa versus Proud Boy shit going on. It was a mess.
Yeah. But like, do you have a problem? I mean, like the thing is all these websites and stuff, they have terms of service. So if they want to say you can't be on our thing, they can say that. And like, it sucks, but that's something they're allowed to do because they're a private company.
Yeah, I know.
So like, I don't see what the big deal is. It's just they're just a business doing what they want to do for themselves.
Well, I'm bringing that up because this is just a series of things that happened in the last week, and then I'm going to ask.
It's like if someone's being racist and they're in your house, you can kick them out of your. It's like they're not allowed. You can do that.
No,
basically.
Of course. I get that, but all right, I'm just setting that up. So that was the first part, right? Then the next story came out that Instagram was going to be implementing a policy where they're going to hide likes for picture posts and video posts.
Yeah, that's weird. I saw that too.
So the if you read the article or heard any of the news stories, the thought behind this policy change was that it was causing too many mental health issues with people who were becoming obsessed with social media life as far as I need to have a certain amount of followers. My things have to have a certain amount of views and amount of likes with these things. And when you'd see other people who were doing way better than you were, apparently, according to this statement that they put out, people were freaking out and having a hard time coping as a human being and living their life. And maybe that's true. We talked about that story not too long ago about that one Instagram person who went up to San Francisco to go to their office to try to get verified. Yeah. And then on her way back to Los Angeles, she found out that after her meeting there, they banned her account. And then she went and had that video where she had a complete freaking breakdown saying, I moved to LA to be an Instagrammer. This is my life. This is what I do. I can't go and go back and work at McDonald's or at a retail job. I offer nothing as a human being. Like, it was really sad seeing that emotional state of somebody breaking down, saying, this is all I meant. No, all my value. This is all I was meant to be. So this new policy change, I guess, is trying to prevent things like that by hiding the likes, which I don't know if that really, it doesn't bother me. I don't care how many likes something gets. I don't freak out over that stuff. I know people do.
Yeah.
But is that really going to affect anything? Because now you can see your own numbers internally. People can't see your numbers. You can see them. But you can still see your own numbers is the problem. You know, if you're like, how come I just put this video out? How come I only got 1,000 views on this thing? You know, what do I got to do? I got to go do something crazier.
And then you know that people are going to be like, I feel like this will cause more people to try and hack into other people's accounts to see how many likes they're getting. You know, if people are that fanatical, or like more confrontational, being like, how many times, how many likes did you get for your video? You know what I mean? Like just directly contacting people. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. I mean, this is that Black Mirror episode, Nosedive, you know, with the ratings. That's all this is. It's just like in the reverse, it's taking it away. So it's not like that. But, you know, I'm sure that the people who are looking at their likes, like that's how it is to them.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it in one hand, but still seeing your own likes still doesn't. I mean, I guess it kind of helps in this way. Instagram and Facebook can say, look, we've been taking steps to try to figure out how to make this a better situation and a better place for people. But sometimes you got to look, if people go crazy or they go, I mean, they may do horrible things to themselves, and that really sucks. But people also have to take personal accountability for this nonsense. It doesn't mean like they're living a virtual reality life and ignoring and because of that, their real life is suffering as a physical person. Their mentality and their actual physical health has been degrading because they're worried about this shit online that doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah, but the world's changing, man. Like for things like that to us, where we don't see that has meaning, to like younger people and like these influencers, it means everything. You know, it's a very, very different time, and I think it's just something that we don't understand. So like to us looking in on it, it's like, okay, that's pretty crazy. But to people who are living in it, who that's their life, like it's not. But look at it
like
very
this.
Different.
All right, you can say it's a generational thing. Totally fine. I get that.
But the thing is, I'm sure there's plenty of adults that do it too. I'm sure the lady who drove up to fucking, oh no, that was a younger girl.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that there's like plenty of, you know, models and stuff who are, and you know, other people who are on there who this will affect. Like, how does this affect people who do like legitimately make money from Instagram? Like, if they're not, how do they know how many likes that someone's getting to whether or not to like sponsor them?
That I don't know. I guess if you have a bit, because certain Instagram posts, they have to have it registered with Instagram, because they'll post something and it says paid partnership with whoever, right? If they're trying to sell you, I don't know, some kind of face mask or dietary supplement, or get a discount on certain shoes, you know, those kind of things, all has to go through that paid partnership thing. So maybe if you have that set up, that's where you get your numbers that you can disclose to if you're one of those influencers that has a marketing person and an advertising person, you can show your, like for podcasts, right? People who do podcasts, you can see their ranks based on popularity on iTunes and Google Podcasts, but that's not permanent numbers. Like when Joe Rogan releases a new episode, it shoots right to number 1 in the comedy department, right? And I think it's in the top 10 of overall, which is the bigger, more difficult achievement. But in the comedy department, shoots up right to number 1, right? And then say Mark Maron 2 days later has a new episode with a big guest that comes up there. Boom. Now Joe drops down to 2, 3, 4, whatever, and Maron's at the top, because people are going to get that because it just came out. It's the newer thing. So it only fluctuates based on when it's released. Mm-hmm. That's not your permanent numbers. People who do these podcasts and stuff have permanent numbers. These networks that do podcasts have these permanent numbers. They don't reveal them to the public. They only disclose them in business meetings and dealings and stuff with a non-disclosure that, you know, if you're going to have somebody do advertising with you, you're going to tell them, hey, this is how many numbers that we get per episode, per week, per month, whatever, so that you can do business with them. But then they also have a non-disclosure that they won't reveal your numbers to other people. So maybe that's what it is as far as your question with the advertising and Instagram. Maybe you have the numbers, you have to do it in that kind of setting. Like, here are my numbers for what I do. You know how many people are viewing your stuff. You just don't know what your neighbor's doing.
Yeah.
But does that help?
I don't know if it'll help or not. I feel like I don't know if it'll really help. I think if anything, it'll make people maybe even like more mad. They're gonna be like, now I don't know what I'm doing. And
you have nothing to base it on.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just a weird.
I think it's a weird way to try and fix something that I don't know if that's a fix to the problem. You know what I mean? I think that's like a quick solution to a bigger problem.
Well,
and I don't know if that solution's going to work.
Facebook has so many things against them there because you have a lot of, conservative and right-leaning organizations going after Facebook, saying that you're just censoring it because we don't align with your politics. Some of they were doing.
Well, I mean, that's what they're saying, but that's not what's happening.
Well, it's been going on for a long time.
But the thing is, Facebook's typing in certain keywords to filter out, and it's finding these pages. There's Republican politicians who've had their pages filtered out because they're using the same hate speech language that the extremist groups are doing. But this isn't happening on the left because they're not using those words. They're not using the stuff that's getting hit by the filters. Can you name anyone on the left who's at the level of Milo Yiannopoulos? I can't.
Oh, I see what you're saying as far as polarizing centerpieces. Not just
there's
college group
more
thinking or something.
There's on the number of people who do it, there's more people on the right who are doing it. So when the bans come, proportionately more people on the right are going to get banned, so it's going to look like more censorship. You know what I mean?
So you're saying is that the people on the right who are getting noticed by this are the ones that have more collective influence than a group spread out on the left.
Well, no, what I'm saying is it's they're from what I read is that Facebook is running an algorithm where it's finding certain words and phrases that are used by these extremist groups, and that's how it's singling out the pages. And what I'm saying is, as far as activist pages and extremist pages go, there's more of them that are people who are right-wing leaning. So if you look at the tank, there's this many more people on the right than there is on the left. So when bannings come, proportionately, there's always going to be more people on the right who are going to get banned because there's just more people on the right in general. So it's going to look like a massive censorship because there's just not the numbers on the left of people who are in that category of being censored. You know what I mean?
Is it possible too that the people on the right or it's being noticed more that people on the right are being banned and they're being more vocal about it as opposed to people on the left? Because I've seen pages too of people that I know personally, and I've seen them say some, they're very liberal leaning. I've seen them say some really horrible, despicable things. And you're just like, well, if I said that or if somebody else I knew said that, that might have been a problem. I'm like, you can't just say that. I've written to people too. I'm like, look, dude, you may want to reword that. I don't think you're good. That's probably going to get you banned. Or your page deleted because they just you should kill these people. It's it doesn't matter what side you're on. If you're preaching that kind of stuff, that's really going to be, you're going to get fucked up really quick.
Well, I mean, did you see that? I mean, not to get into politics here, but did you see the literal campaign rally today where someone in Arkansas suggested shooting the migrants and everyone cheered? So you're not that far off, dude.
Wow. No, I did not see that.
And Trump was like, "Oh, only people in the Panhandle can get away with that."
Oh, I did see that clip. I did see that clip. Yeah.
But you're saying that, and then people are actually saying that at rallies and getting cheers. So
you have to go to rallies to say that stuff. You can't post it on Facebook.
No, but what I'm saying is, it's people are reading it and they're hearing this stuff on the internet and they're repeating it at these rallies. Is what I'm saying. So it's proving that these online, influence is actually having an influence is what I'm saying.
Well, the last part of all of this I wanted to bring up, and this is most recent, that Facebook announced that they're going to be blocking certain hashtags that are anti-vaccine, right? So what they're trying to do is control the misinformation about anti-vaccine and anti-vaccinators, people who are putting out these stories that are not medically proven or half-truths on things.
Yeah.
So I get it, but, and I'm not saying I'm anti-vaccine or anything, I'm very pro-vaccine, but I'm just saying you're seeing these steps that they're taking to handle these situations, right? And if you look at it on paper, it's okay. Well, if they're too much of this, they're going to get banned. If they're saying this, it's going to get blocked. If this is showing up here too much, that's going to be filtered out of the algorithm. Oh, well and good, or is it? I'm not saying that a lot of these things are good and they should be there, but is it worrisome to think that it's getting too much control no matter what it is? There's too many layers of checkpoints and security being put into these things that is eventually going to spill over where it may start going too far.
I mean, I don't really know, man. We're already giving out so much personal information to all these websites without our knowledge, and stuff that we're doing. Every a link we click, every website we go, it shows up on our phone search engine. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many privacy issues and everything already that if you're concerned about like people getting censored, like that's the least of your concerns with social media. I'm not
saying necessarily being censored, but eventually could it or would it get to the point where that, I mean, I guess the basics is politics, where that even if, you know, where you stand on the side of a platform, you have programmers in these companies that are filtering the words. What's to stop them from filtering of like, well, I don't like this candidate, or I don't like this position that this person has here, and you just slide it in there. The company doesn't know, and then by the time they know, the damage has already been done because it takes too long.
Yeah, I mean that's something
that's where that's where that 1984 Big Brother stuff comes in.
No, but that's very much stuff that's like happened and possibly happened during the last election. You know what I mean? Like that's stuff that, you know, is still coming out in reports that like shit like that happened, and lots of these troll and Russian, bot farms got through. So there's a lot of issues that are happening with the social media. And all that being said, they're still a private company. There are still terms of service that we all signed up to use on there. And at the end of the day, their rules go. They're the ones who decide. So if they say they're going to do this, that's what they do. And the only way you could avoid it is to just delete your account and get off of it. Because things are going to happen. People are going to get banned. Groups are going to get censored. Your information is going to get shared. The only way to avoid it is to just get rid of it. You know?
Can it also be viewed at some point, because remember a while back, not too long back, within the last 8 years, I'll say, where it was pretty much deemed worldwide that Twitter was more than just a company. It was becoming a utility, because there were a lot of like the things remember back in Egypt when they had that riot, they were tweeting everything that was going on before the news services had it, and that's where everybody was picking up. And then the thing with Gaddafi when they killed him, and then there's other protests and upheavals and things are all through Twitter, and then countries tried to block IPs and cell towers and all that stuff to prevent that information from getting out. Iran does it. Like they have filters on that stuff. Is Facebook becoming a utility where it's going to get to the point where we saw that article earlier that one of the co-founders of Facebook was saying that the government should step in, that this company has too much control over everything. It's becoming a monopoly. Well, can Facebook, something like this, be deemed, social media itself, can it be deemed a utility more than it is a private company?
Well, the thing is, I don't really know if like Twitter is a utility as much as it is just an uncensored media filter is basically what it is. So that's how, like, you know, when the Arab Spring happened in Egypt, all this stuff got out there so fast because they didn't have to wait for it to get edited by a network. They didn't have to wait for it to get out. It was like, boom, this happened now. You just saw it. Like, this is real. Like, this is, you know, the reality television, that's reality. You know what I mean? Like, this is happening. And there's a lot of power in that. And that's a lot of the problems that we keep having with the news is because they see something on Twitter and then they go and break the story as fast as humanly possible before it was even verified on Twitter, that it was real or that it wasn't taken out of context or like that someone actually said that. And that's why there's just so many problems happening right now, is because you can just say anything you want on Twitter and it's out there. And within 10 seconds, someone can start retweeting that. And within an hour, it could be fact. Like that's insane, you know? Yeah. And that's the power that like Twitter and all these platforms like really truly have. And it's kind of, you know, with great power comes great responsibility. You know what I mean? Thing. Like, it's just what happens. Like But that falls on all sides. Like, the news should be like vetting stories before like they just pick it up from a Twitter feed. You know, just because someone tweeted out doesn't mean it's real. Right. But I don't know. I mean, like, do I
Facebook
think Facebook as a utility? No, I think Facebook as a giant marketing and information grabbing tool. Like, that's all it is. It's, you know, just taking all your information, selling it to private companies, and that's. You know, that's what they're doing with it.
About selling to private companies, I heard a news thing this morning that they were saying they were investigating Amazon with Alexa because apparently there's suspicion that Alexa was that information it was collecting from you from when you talked to Alexa to ask it to do things, to program things, to buy things, whatever you're telling Alexa to do. And remember a while back they were saying they think that the mics were still on, that it was still listening to you. And because I've had conversations where all of a sudden that thing just starts talking out of nowhere.
Well, because it is always listening.
Right.
Because
So-
there's that other mic that came out during that developers conference.
Right.
Where like they accidentally leaked it and someone's like, wait, it's always recording. And they were like, yeah.
Wait, are you talking about the Google Nest thing? Because when they discovered the Nest had a microphone in it, it wasn't supposed to have a microphone in it.
Yeah, wasn't that the same thing with the Alexa?
No, Alexa had a thing where that people were suspecting that it was still listening to your conversations. The Nest thing was that thing's not supposed to have a microphone in it.
That's right.
That's a huge ordeal. It's like, all right, if I brought this into my home and willingly turned it on so I can talk to it, my thermostat should not be spying on me.
But all these things, it's just no one's testing anything. You know what I mean? Like there's no like thorough test before. I feel like everything is just thrown out into the market and it's just like, here you go, just go with it. And then we just like deal with it. And then it's just by the time we find out what's going on, it's like, oh, all of our information's stolen. Everything's gone. There's no privacy.
You know, because we use some of the Google servers and stuff for this show and a few other things, I got a notice from them and they said, thank you for being with us for, a certain amount of years and all this, the functions and the space that we're using or whatever. We want to send you some free gifts. So they send me a box of those mini Google Home things. I open up the box and go, I'm not hooking this up. What am I going to do with this?
Yeah.
They send it to me for free because we use their service for other things. And I was just like, I'm just going to gift these to people. What am I supposed to do with these? I don't want these on my home. I don't even like Alexa, and I have it here. I've had that thing started talking to me out of nowhere. I unplugged it. I said, "Yep, you're done." And
it's like, hey, what's up, Eric? Fuck you, Alexa. And it's like, no, I'm the dog.
It was like, bad enough that thing
monkey.
would react when I'd watch Monday Night Raw because there's a female wrestler named Alexa Bliss. So when Michael Cole would scream obnoxiously, he's like, Alexa Bliss off the top rope, and all of a sudden I'd see the blue ring around Alexa, and then
would you like to order a jump rope? You're like, no,
I don't understand what you mean. And then we close down. I'm like, I can't watch wrestling with this thing here. But then I'm in the kitchen having a conversation on the phone, and all of a sudden I hear that thing start talking. I go, nope, done. Forget it.
Out of here.
Unplugged. Down in the basement it goes, and there it sits with all my other ancient technology.
Yeah, the hoverboard. And, all that other fun stuff.
It's just weird Facebook has to take these precautions because if they don't show that they're trying to be responsible or making any kind of progress, that they're going to just be open to all kinds of lawsuits. So this prevents that. And I'm sure there was some stuff on the horizon or was about to happen for a week of constant changes that Facebook out of nowhere just started doing.
Yeah.
Something was on the horizon there. I was just curious, looking at all this add up. I'm like, okay, you're doing this because of that, and you're doing this because of this, and you're doing that because of that. But eventually, when you're doing all these things, then does the field get a bit narrower? Well, you know what? Maybe we should include this with it too, and then we're going to include that with it as well. Then we're going to stop blocking this thing. And it's like, eventually this is going to get to the point where it's such a narrow pipeline that there's really no point to using any of this.
Every day I'm debating just deleting my Facebook, but the thing is I like using my Instagram and shit, and I don't want to have to I'm afraid I'll lose it if I do. I don't know how that works.
Say that again. You cut out. You like using your Instagram what?
I said I want to delete my Facebook, but I don't know if I do that if it'll fuck up anything with my Instagram because it's the same company now.
Right. Well, this is the world we live in, and these are some we're given. I forgot the words.
Oh, these are the hands we're given.
Oh.
It's Phil Collins song, right?
And I'll do the Disturbed version. Ready?
No.
Ow, ow.
That sounds like a dog trying to sing.
My throat hurts. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we got some updates for TV and movie stuff to let you all know about. We'll be right back.
It's Eric Nagel with Erik and Giddles. More next. It's Eric Nagel. Follow the show on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, and Facebook at It's Eric Nagel.
Good news, everyone. Bad news. You're listening to Erik Nagel. Poor people.
Welcome back to It's Erik Nagel. Erik and Giddles here with you. Looking at the box office from last week, coming in at number 1 for the second week in a row, Avengers Endgame. It's already at $2.3 billion, and it's estimated to be on the track by the end of May to be the first movie in history to break $3 billion.
I mean, I'm not surprised. Are you surprised? I mean, it's playing like in every movie theater on like 7 screens at every movie theater almost 24 hours a day. If it wasn't breaking records, I would actually be very shocked.
I mean, this is just, this is breaking the records of the Itchy and Scratchy movie.
Yeah. I can't wait till they're going to close and, Kent Brockman's going to be there like 7 months later.
Finally closing. But yeah, with Endgame at number 1, it was the fastest growing box office attraction ever. In that first weekend, it made $1.2 billion. It was the highest grossing movie for an opening weekend. Second weekend now, we're at $2.3 billion. It moved Titanic from the number 2 slot down to the number 3 slot of the highest grossing movies of all time. Number 1 is Avatar, another James Cameron movie, at $2.78 billion. And at the time that we're recording this is just on the cusp of going into weekend 3 for Endgame. So this is $2.3 billion at this point. I bet you it breaks at least Avatar's record by Monday.
But like, what would happen if you went back and just looked at the ticket sales for Titanic and just shifted it to today's prices?
It is. It's adjusted for inflation.
It is adjusted for inflation?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
So that's according to Box Office Mojo here. Everything's been adjusted for inflation. That Titanic is now number 3. Endgame's number 2. Avatar's number 1. And we'll see where it goes.
I mean, this will definitely beat Avatar.
Definitely. I hope it would be interesting to see if it breaks the $3 billion mark, just because it's never been done before. But just beating Avatar because it was such a horrible movie, I'd be happy with that. Coming in at number 2 is The Intruder, which is Dennis Quaid. I don't know anything more about that movie other than Dennis Quaid is in it.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Long Shot, which is the Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron movie, which looks just like every Adam Sandler movie that ever
I haven't seen
out.
it. I've only seen the poster for it, and it looked like a movie. I feel like it looked like a movie that's already been made before with Seth Rogen in it. I can't remember.
Coming in at number 4 is the animated film for the kids, Ugly Dolls.
The fuck is that?
I don't know. It looks a little weird. I'd probably watch it if.
Oh wait, is that the one with that's like the puppets that we always see at Comic-Con and they just made it into a movie?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
a lot of voices in that. Kelly Clarkson, Nick Jonas, Wanda Sykes, Emma Roberts, Jane Lynch, Ice-T is in there.
Everyone's in these things. I'm in like 7 of these movies now.
Well,
I usually play Wesley Webbit or Doug.
Somebody's being braggadocious. And then coming at number 5, still doing fantastically well, is Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
Captain Marvel
gonna do well.
is at $1.2 billion. Seems to be a number that the Marvel Cinematic Universe likes to hit, is $1.2 billion. Opening in the movies this weekend, if you're not going to see Endgame for the umpteenth time, you have Detective Pikachu with Ryan Reynolds.
Ooh, I kind of want to see it.
I kind of do too. I didn't see bad reviews for it, and the clips that were coming out more and more, I was like, I don't know much about Pokemon stuff, but it actually looks okay, and I'm willing to learn.
I want to watch it. The trailer looks fun.
And then Tolkien is coming out. The story about James is it James Tolkien? John Tolkien? James.
It's Tolkien.
Mr. Tolkien. And then
I was walking by the theater. They had like a premiere in the city the other day, and they had like a red carpet out and everything.
Yeah, I think that was the thing Stephen Colbert hosted, because he's a huge Tolkien
that would make
fan.
sense because I saw him in the street.
There you go. Next weekend is John Wick Chapter 3. Which I'm
excited for that.
And then A Dog's Journey, about that dog that comes back to life to look over a family.
Yeah, I'm not watching that. I'm not watching any of these dog movies. You know why? Because they're the saddest goddamn movies out there. I'm not watching another sad dog movie.
I can't even handle the... Look, there's a commercial right now for an adoption thing, and it's not like the ASPCA one with Sarah McLachlan. It was some kind
Kitten with a pencil in his head.
It was an adoption thing where it's like it's in a park, right? It's a little bit of it's a party as doing it. It's one of those adoption festivals, and they have those circular pens, those metal pens, so the dogs can lay in the grass and enjoy being outside. But the pen is there to protect them and the people who are coming to check out these pets. And there's this one older bulldog there. And I forgot the bulldog's name, and he goes, "Oh yeah, he's seen a few of these things. Who knows? One of these days he'll find the right family will find him." And then you just see all these other people crowding over the pens with the puppies, and it's so sad because then this white bulldog is just sitting there, and the head kind of just turns dejected, like he's just going to sit there again. Nobody wants him, and as going through the families, this one little girl is looking for a new puppy, and then turns and makes a right. She goes, and then she runs over to the bulldog, and she's like, "Mommy, Daddy, this is the dog."
And then the bulldog bites her, and then the bulldog's put down. It's just a sad commercial.
So you've seen this one. No, she's like, "Oh my God, this is the one." And they're talking about adopting older dogs,
Yeah.
And then she's sitting there having a little tea party. The dog's got a little fancy hat, and he's lapping tea out of the cup. And I'm like, "This is adorable." And I sit there, and even that, I start getting...
were you teary-eyed?
You become... Well, I'm not like bawling, but you sit there and you choke up a little bit. I can't sit there and watch these things, even if they're good. That commercial was good, and I start getting upset over it. Because then I'm looking around for Monty. I'm like, I need to give Monty a hug right now. I can't look at these things and not go give my dog a hug.
And then you're like, Monty's like, "Yo, you got treats for me?" He's like, "I don't want ball."
Or my dog went to bed, and he's kicking me. He's pushing me off with his paws. Like, "Leave me alone. I'm trying to sleep."
Yeah, he's like, "If I need you, I'll come to you."
This is really off topic, but you follow the dodo?
Yeah.
Does that get you every time?
What?
The dodo on Facebook or on Instagram, that account?
Yeah, I follow the dodo.
Yeah, does it not get to you every time? You seeing like
I mean sometimes.
I saw one where this guy was driving a motorcycle, I guess somewhere down in the outback, and there's over on this field he sees a whole, I don't know what they're called, a gaggle of kangaroos going, right? And they're hopping, whatever, and he sees a kangaroo fall out of the pouch
of one
of the kangaroos. So he pulls over his bike and runs over, and there's just this little rat-looking thing with big feet, and it's just kind of freaking out. It doesn't know what to do, so he picks it up.
Shit, it's supposed to be in a pouch.
Yeah, so he picks it up, and that whole herd just goes away. They don't come back and look for it or even notice that it's gone. So he picks it up, he wraps it in a blanket, and he found some kind of... not conservatory, some kind of what can't I think of the word? Where animals go and they're taken care of, and
a vet?
No, like when they have certain
animal hospital.
No, like
a conservation.
Thank you. A conservation where they have for kangaroos. He found one. So he brought him there. It's like a little farm area, and they're just showing the process of the baby kangaroo being cleaned up and fed with a bottle and hopping around in free space. And you sit there and you're watching this stuff, and because the guy did a good deed, and you watch these animal things, and it's like, what has happened to me? As I've gotten older, I can't watch animal stuff because it really starts to make you upset. Even if it's positive and happy, you start getting emotional.
I saw the one where the guy, there's these little bunnies crossing the street, and he stops the car and he helps the bunnies across the street. And then he gets there and the bunnies are hopping away, and then an eagle just swoops down and eats them.
What? And then you hear the dodo music, ding, 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 like a happy ending as the eagle flies away.
It starts playing the Curb Your Enthusiasm music.
If you ever see this video, and it's a real video, and then we'll get back to the movie stuff. So somebody saved a baby turtle, right? Now, a baby turtle is maybe 2 to 3 inches. Their shell is about the size of a silver dollar, right? So he has the turtle. He brings him over to a railing into the ocean or a river or whatever, and he goes to let the turtle back into the wild to survive because it was in a road or something like that. And it's not, at least I don't think it was a fake video, but he just sits there over the railing, he kind of leans over the railing and just lets it go gently into the water, right? So now when it hits the water like that, and out of nowhere, a fish just swam right up, and then swam away.
Yeah, like a largemouth bass just comes out and just eats it.
Yep. You've seen this video.
Oh yeah, I saw the video.
Oh, okay. Is it fake?
No, it's a real video, but I think there was someone posted in the comments that the turtle they were releasing was actually like an invasive species or something like that. That was really dangerous for the environment. So like the fish did us all a favor.
Oh, okay. Then I don't feel so bad.
Yeah, like people who were like, if you're releasing turtles, like people will release turtles in the wild and it's fucking devastating. Like you could never release a turtle in the wild. Unless, of course, you got that turtle from the wild and you're putting it back. But yeah.
All right, back to the movie.
Fish saved us all.
Godspeed, turtle. Godspeed, largemouth bass. Godspeed.
Yeah, that bass saved our bass.
And then one day that bass is on a plaque and being forced to sing for our amusement. Rest of the movies for May, like we said, for May 16th is John Wick 3. May 22nd, the live-action Disney Aladdin. And May 31st, Godzilla, King of All Monsters. Some other trailers came out this week. One, last week we talked about the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer, which was god-awful. And it wasn't just us. The rest of the world said how completely horrible this movie looked. Well, the production company for the movie had to tweet out and said, look, we've heard you. We understand. They're going to be making changes. So they're redesigning Sonic for the whole movie. They've already shot the movie and it's ready to go.
It's a mistake.
To redesign Sonic from what it is?
Own that shit. This is going to be a train wreck movie no matter what. Keep it horrible. Keep it like over the top. Like they're not going to save this movie. Like the bad Sonic in the trailer, like if he's fixed, people are gonna be like, "Oh, good. Well, now I'm gonna go see it." You know what I mean? Like the only people who are gonna go see it are shitheads like me who like bad movies. Like, and I want to see a shitty Sonic. Like, I don't want to see some Sonic with some nice teeth. I want to look like he just cut it, like chewing on some sticks, and now he might bite a child.
You
like,
want to see Sonic working at Sonic, wearing a Sonic shirt.
Exactly. You know, like I want to see bad Sonic. I want Sonic to look like the Goombas from the Super Mario Brothers movie, like that bad, you know?
Sonic's really just all you did was throw a hat, and actually, this is just Mario. You painted him blue.
Yeah, fuck it. I don't care. With his sharp, pointy teeth and his dumb face, yeah, I can't wait for this movie.
So they're
going to ruin it by redoing Sonic. I'm telling you.
Well, what if they put out two cuts? With the Blu-ray,
sold
you can watch
on the first cut
as tooth-filled Sonic, or you can watch the new version of Sonic.
Yeah, I want to watch tooth-filled Sonic. You know why? Because he has fucking teeth. Did you ever see the game? He smiles. He's got big teeth.
I've also noticed too, because he's sort of in this buddy kind of cop role thing with James Marsden, who is Cyclops from the X-Men movies.
Yeah,
but in certain angles, when Sonic's talking, he looks like James Marsden. That's really weird.
It's him in a suit.
That's not in the suit. That's animation. You're not going to get me teeth this time, Giddles.
I was close.
You were close.
I saw you looking for.
You were close. Like, I had you planted the seed of doubt, but I knew better.
Yeah. But it was really him in a suit.
Other trailers that came out. It Chapter 2.
I just watched it.
What did you think?
It was an interesting trailer. It was a little different than most movie trailers where it kind of showed like 2 minutes of a scene and then a quick like 15-second montage of just shots, like kind of like almost iconic shots from the first movie, like remade, like them down in the well and, you know, like
down in the sewers,
the balloons and stuff, like a lot of that, the iconic imagery shit.
I thought it was an interesting take because it's creepy as hell. That old lady, and I'm trying to remember what other movie she's been in.
But like I couldn't help but laugh, like because it was just like naked grandma in a kitchen. She's like, but
it wasn't
like
her.
Just swirling around.
It wasn't her.
Well, yeah, I know, but it was just the way it looked was really stupid. Like when you see her like in the background, like it's dumb.
I liked when she said, "You never really die here,"
and she's like,
it's that exaggerated, like it would be a comedy movie that would do that kind of stare. That over-exaggerated stare for way too long, like Giddles is doing to me right now because he's super quiet and not moving. But that is something they would do in a comedy sketch. This, they took it. It's like, you know what? This works in a comedy. Why don't we put it into a horror movie and see how it does? And then they do it, and somebody goes, oh my God, this is so fucked up. Why didn't we think of doing this before? And scene, Giddles. Giddles is still
so that's how it works.
But I'm just saying
see, that's what people are missing. This is why we got to go live.
the
They could have watched me just staring into nothing. Now my eyes are tearing because I couldn't blink.
I'll tell you this. At one point at the end there, I went, "Oh my God, was this perfect timing?" And his feed really did cut out, and you're frozen.
It's really hard to maintain that kind of composure.
Yeah. So
I don't know how I feel about it.
I thought it did a good job where it's not spoiling anything for the movie like a lot of.
No, it definitely didn't spoil anything for the movie. I mean, the thing is, I saw the first one. I'm not hyped about seeing the second one, but I'm gonna see it because I saw the first one.
Right.
And the first one, it wasn't a terrible movie. It just wasn't what I wanted it to be. So I'll see it, just not right away.
Yeah, and somebody had asked me today at work. I said, "Why did they make a second one to this?" I said, if you ever read the story or saw the original miniseries way back in what kids call The Day, the long ago, it was a 2-part thing where it was set with them as kids, and then it disappeared for a while. Then they got married and had their own kids, and they wound up having to come back to this town because the thing resurfaced again, and that's where they had to fight it and do whatever it is they had to do in order to continue living their lives. I'm trying to remember with that old lady what other movies she was in.
Yeah, I don't know.
Damn it. I thought it would come to me, but I guess it doesn't. If I think about it, I'll chime in later and tell you what it is. Other movie trailers that came out, the Spider-Man Far From Home updated trailer, and it's the spoiler Endgame version.
Oh, so they had another trailer waiting that they could put out after people saw Endgame so you can see.
There was so much that they didn't reveal in the trailer that they put out before Endgame that they had to wait for at least a week for Endgame to come and go. And the trailer even has Tom Holland as Spider-Man in the front. He says, "Look, this trailer is filled with spoilers. If you did not see Endgame, do not watch this trailer. Otherwise, enjoy." Nice. And then you watch the whole trailer, and it starts off with, look, it's been 2 weeks. Spoiler if you need it. Starts off with him mulling over Iron Man's death, and he's
what?
He's sitting next to a big painted mural on the side of the building.
Iron Man died, Eric?
He did. Exactly. That's how everyone else was reacting.
Oh, my hat went up to the ceiling. Sorry.
I thought they fixed the air conditioning.
Nope.
So he's dealing with that, and then Nick Fury intervenes and starts introducing him to Mysterio and saying, this is what's key, that he's from Earth, but he's not from this Earth. The snap caused a tear in the dimensional fabric, and now there's multiple dimensions. And he said, now we have a multiverse, which is very crucial because the multiverse, if it does exist, because the Mysterio character, by the way, he's mostly an actor. He's a liar. He's a villain for the most part, and he has no real superpowers. He's sort of like Batman, but as a bad guy.
Spoilers.
He fakes everything. So they say the multiverse is there. So that was pretty important because now I'm thinking that this is the way that they work a few years down the line. When they work in Fantastic Four and the X-Men, they're all from different universes. So it's not all in the same timeline. What do you think?
I mean, it makes sense.
I forget you don't watch these movies.
I don't know. Like, I don't have like that much of a vested interest in these films. So, I mean, whatever they're going to do, they're going to do.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting.
It's a really good trailer. It's a lot of action in it, and it just makes you think, it's like, what's really the hell going on here? But as soon as they said the multiverse, I think that really sets it up for them to be able to do whatever the hell they want.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to TV. May 31st, Amazon Prime. Now, it's been pointed out to me that I say the show wrong, and it's called Good Omens with an S. I kept saying Good Omen. But
it's Good Omens.
It's Good Omens. But apparently the last few weeks when I've talked about the show, I've been saying Good Omen.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
It's Neil Gaiman. Maybe that's where I'm getting... It's Good Gaimans.
Good Gaimans. That's what you say after you lose a game of Magic. You say Good Gaimans.
So that show's coming out on Amazon Prime on May 31st. Neil Gaiman's graphic novel being adapted, and it stars the Doctor, David Tennant, which is pretty much all you ever need to know about that show until it comes out. Some news from Adult Swim. This was something out of left field that I was really actually kind of excited for. Do you remember the show Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law?
I do remember Harvey Birdman. It was great.
I loved that show. So now they've announced they're doing a Harvey Birdman spinoff with Bird Girl.
Okay.
Right? They put out a movie, I think in the summer or the fall of last year, whereas Harvey Birdman goes to Washington. And I
did not know that.
He was elected. It was sort of a Trump storyline, but he was accidentally elected to president. His boss, was elected to president. The guy with the eye patch that's voiced by Stephen Colbert. And Harvey Birdman gets appointed attorney general, and all he's doing is his crazy boss is pretty much a Bond villain and so absent-minded, he's just fucking everything up. And now Harvey Birdman's having to act like he's president and trying to fix everything. It was pretty good. So now they're doing this spinoff with Bird Girl. Now is going to be the CEO of what was there? 7 and 7. They're the law firm that they all worked for. I keep saying Batgirl. Bird Girl is voiced by if I'm saying her name right, Paget Brewster. She's on Criminal Minds on CBS, but she was Kathy on Friends. And if you don't remember that, Kathy was the girl that Joey was dating and then wound up cheating on Joey with Chandler. And Chandler was dating her for a while. And then Joey and Chandler came to ends. And it had one of the more famous episodes of Friends where in order for forgiveness, Chandler had to sit in this big crate during Thanksgiving. And he had to sit in there and atone and think about what he did if he wanted to keep Joey's friendship. So the episode was called Chandler in the Box. So for most of the episode, he's sitting in a box in the apartment. He's not allowed to talk while all this other stuff is going on. But anyway, she's going to be voicing Bird Girl in this spinoff here. I'm actually kind of excited because I really did love that show. It only had like 2 or 3 seasons. It was it was a very unique take off of old Hanna-Barbera properties that were just not being used.
I thought it had more seasons than that. I thought it had like 5 seasons.
No, it said 2005 to 2007.
Oh.
And I have the DVD sets. It's only 3 sets. So
damn.
I loved that show. Speaking of Friends, actually, this week was the 15-year anniversary since the finale of Friends, if that makes you feel old. And also, it's the 25-year anniversary from probably the most infamous episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Do you remember what episode that was? Did you watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
I did, but I don't know what episode you're talking about.
The one where Will's father comes back after 14 years. And at the end, they were supposed to go on a cross-country trip or something. And then the father made up an excuse of why he couldn't do it, and he left. And then Will had this big emotional breakdown in front of Uncle Phil.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
He started crying, and then they ended it with a big hug. Here, I'll play it for you right now.
I'm sorry, Will.
You know what? Actually, this works out better for me. You know, the Slimmies of summer come to class wearing next to nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Will, it's all right to be angry.
Hey, why should I be mad? I'm saying at least he said goodbye this time. I just wish I hadn't wasted my money buying this stupid present.
I'm sorry. If there was something that I
Hey,
could
you know
do.
what? You ain't got to do nothing, Uncle Phil. Hey, ain't like I'm still 5 years old, you know? Ain't like I'm gonna be sitting up every night asking my mom, when's Daddy coming home, you know? Who needs him? Hey, he wasn't there to teach me how to shoot my first basket, but I learned, didn't I? Hey, I got pretty damn good at it too, didn't I, Uncle Phil?
You did.
Got through my first day without him, right? I learned how to drive. I learned how to shave. I learned how to fight without him. I had 14 great birthdays without him. He never even sent me a damn card. The hell with him! I ain't need him then, and I don't need him now.
Will.
Nah, you know what, Uncle Phil? I'm gonna get through college without him. I'm gonna get a great job without him. I'm gonna marry me a beautiful honey, and I'm having me a whole bunch of kids. I'm gonna be a better father than he ever was. And I sure as hell don't need him for that, because ain't a damn thing he could ever teach me about how to love my kids. How come he don't want me, man?
I think that's the episode that everybody
Well, because I was
remembers
just
the most.
like the Carlton dance. I was like, that was pretty famous.
That was a feature, but that wasn't a thing that's that stood out from the show. That was just something he would do now and then that people loved.
Yeah.
But people sang the theme song. People still love the theme song. But as far as a very important moment or very memorable moment from that series, I think it's the one with his dad walking out on him again and him having a breakdown.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Other TV news: HBO's The Watchmen trailer for their TV series just came out, and I'm kind of on it.
I'm kind of meh on it. I mean, it was, lots of people in masks, very Watchmen-esque, but it didn't say anything about what the show is about. It was just like, hey, here's some interesting imagery for people who like The Watchmen or people who don't know what it is.
Right.
But, I'm sure there's a lot of people who have no idea about the graphic novel, who saw that trailer and they're very intrigued by it. Like, I'm kind of intrigued by it, but I don't know what to expect.
I never read the graphic novel. I went and saw the movie because we had some tie-ins and stuff with the O&A show. I went to the screening, watched the movie. That was the first time I've ever seen anything with The Watchmen. And then after that, our pal Dr. Steve got me the big graphic novel set.
Yeah.
Because he's apparently a huge Watchmen fan.
I mean, it's only one graphic novel. It's only like 236 pages.
But I'm saying the set it came in, it had a thick...
you had the big like collector's edition thing?
Yeah, like that. It had a thick casing around it where the book would slide out. It had all this extra stuff in there. It was very generous of him. And I read that and I was like, okay, I get it. I found the book to be a little bit better than the movie, which sometimes that is the case. But I never just really got into The Watchmen like I do other graphic novel and comic book properties.
Yeah, I mean, Watchmen's, it's one book. And that's it. And it's over, It's not like... It's not like a Marvel property where like everything, going on.
Right.
It's a very dense, intense story, but right. I don't know where this continues on from, or if this is a prequel type thing. I don't know.
Well, this is now a miniseries, so I guess they can explore the origin story, with Rorschach and Dr. Manhattan and the comedian and what's her face. Oh wait, that's
so and so,
the ugly one.
Yeah.
Wow, Watchmen turned into Teen Girl Squad really fast.
Arrowed.
Yes, everyone got arrowed, and then they went to Babbage's.
Yeah.
Give it an Emmy. I was gonna bring up Game of Thrones, but we can talk about that another time. That stupid cup, thing. Look, it was funny because I saw it when it happened. It wasn't I went back. It was funny. The next day to make a mention of the Starbucks cup was in there. It became a phenomenon for like 2 days that should not have been a thing.
Oh my God. It's like, it was funny for like 5 minutes. Like, hey, they forgot a cup. And then people were like, yeah, I know. It's like,
can you believe
it's not a big deal. Like, whatever, shit happens.
People posting video, not just photo, like screenshots. People miss
Podrick in the background walking away and getting a threesome.
Women. Yeah. I saw that too. And I was like, good for him.
I was talking to my friend Olivia, and she said that apparently it's canon in the story that Podrick's got a big old ding dong.
Was Podrick also the one that was trying to give the other woman to the Hound when he was sitting there at the table before Arya came over? Was that Podrick?
Before Arya came over or Sansa came over?
Oh, sorry, before Sansa came over. Was that still Podrick?
Remember. No, because Tormund was talking to him.
Okay, because he had...
Because Tormund was like, Clegane, my heart is broken. She ran off with one-armed Jamie.
He
was talking to her.
You're right. So Podrick walked off the scene first, but then you have that the Redbeard dude. But he walked off with two women too, because that girl sat down next to the Hound, and he said piss off or whatever, that he wasn't interested. So she got up and walked away with him. So there were two threesomes going on.
I mean, it's Game of Thrones. Like, how many scenes that were in this where you like it was an actual threesome? Like, there's a lot of threesomes in this show.
Rather than the damn cup and everything else that was going on with soap opera nonsense, I would have loved that if the cameras moved away from the conversation between Sansa and the Hound and they went following them like real world, running down the hall. And then, so he's there with two girls, and then he runs into the other guy with two girls, and they're trying to find a room, and it's like, oh, let's make it a sixsome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, people made way too big of a deal about that fucking cup. Like, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was funny that it was there, but it was like, all right, it's a little too much now. Please calm down.
It's a humorous highlight for the next morning to talk about, but it became this weird obsession. And then because people...
There was so much to talk about from that episode. That was not the thing to talk about from that episode. There's so much stupid shit that happened.
People are so... Let me tell you, the listening public, how dumb you are. Okay?
Oh, me? Oh.
That people react online with memes and GIFs, animated GIFs, right?
That's what I do.
But it's the same ones all the time, and then people think that, because something just happened, they're going to create this, and they think that they're the first to do this, and everyone's posting the same damn thing. People were photoshopping the cup into other, points of entertainment or historical periods of time, and just, oh, look, the cup's over here, the cup's over here, the cup's at the on the podium where Trump's talking. It's like, none of this is funny. It's like you're just killing an accidental bit, which was humorous, like look, there's the cup. Not a huge fucking phenomenon of. I also saw people on Instagram, they were doing their stories or their or just posting videos where they're holding their camera, watching the television show. It's like, wait, here it comes, it's coming. Oh, look, there's the cup, and they're all laughing. It's like, dude, you're a day and a half late already on this.
Yeah, it's too stupid. Like, people are taking everything way.
So dumb. So dumb.
Talk about how her fucking dragon got shot out of the air. Couldn't see a goddamn fleet from a dragon. Ugh. So many stupid things to talk about instead of this dumb cup. But, there's a lot going on. I'm sure we'll be able to talk about the big battle that happens this Sunday.
Did you like the fact that Dani was losing her mind? Like she was having a temper tantrum at the end? Like her brain was broken? I mean,
like... Hopefully they make it very interesting with whatever happens in this next episode. I think I want things that I want to happen in this next episode. I want, if Cersei doesn't kill Jaime and Tyrion doesn't kill Cersei, then I want Cersei to win.
I think Jaime's isn't Jaime supposed to kill Cersei?
No, I feel like Jaime's going there. I don't know if Jaime's going to kill her. I think like
he's going to kill her more than Tyrion's going to.
No, I think Cersei's gonna kill Jaime, and then I feel like Tyrion's gonna kill Cersei.
All right.
I feel like Tyrion killing Cersei is like something he's been working towards.
I think, and this doesn't matter to anybody but us, but I think Jaime's gonna kill Cersei. I think Tyrion is now going to, with his understanding of what's going on and the revelation of who Jon Snow really is, I think he's going to work to try to lean towards whoever's going to get the throne and probably maybe put things in motion that will help get Dani killed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens if Dani doesn't get killed in this next episode.
Right.
I mean, I don't know how it's going to end. They still haven't explained anything with Bran. Even Tyrion last episode's like, oh, so you just, live in the past, and he fucking literally speaks like Richmond from IT Crowd. He's like, I live in the past now. Like he's the Richmond from IT Crowd. Every time he talks, I'm picturing him in the closet. And this light, so sometimes it blinks one time, sometimes it blinks two. Oh, there it goes. Like that's Bran.
You know what? Also,
Bran wargs into him
because everything comes back to the Simpsons because Simpsons did it. When Bran says, "I have to go," and his eyes turn white and he falls backwards, right?
Yeah.
It's like the episode where, remember where,
yes.
It was one of the Simpsons episodes where they jump to the future and Lisa's daughter goes into the internet, so she puts the thing on her head and then her face fucking falls down into the laptop. That's how people go into the internet now.
Oh, that's an episode I haven't seen. It's
okay.
Like later
well, there's
season.
a thing where they go online. She's like, I'm going to go online. She opens up her laptop, pulls out a cable, which you think look like earbuds, puts it to the side of her head. Her eyes go white and her head just fucking thuds to the table. That's how people do the internet. It looks exactly like what Braun's doing.
Yeah. No, well, Braun is different. You're talking about Bran. Braun just shows up with a crossbow and he's like, all right, I have to kill one of you guys. Like, that was so stupid.
I forget that there's so many characters that have similar names.
Braun and Bran.
Yeah.
Bran is definitely IT Crowd.
Hi, guys. I forgot that there were 5 Stark kids.
Yeah.
Season 1 is so far removed that I forgot everything that's going on. I forgot there were 2 other Stark kids, and I was like, oh, that one little kid is still alive, hiding somewhere. And then I go and look online. I'm like, what happened to that kid? I'm like, oh, right. What's his name? Shot him in the head with an arrow as he was running towards Jon.
Yeah.
What was the other bastard's name? Barton?
Ramsay Bolton?
Bolton. Yeah, Bolton. He's like, go. And he lets the kid run, and then all of a sudden, right through the back of the head. I was like, wow, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
So he's dead, and Robb Stark's dead, and
yeah. But I don't know. Like, I think then we'll see what happens in this next episode, and then hopefully they explain some shit whatever happened with Bran and like how he was able to time warg and everything. But here's something else I thought. So remember how Jon's a dick, and he's like, "Hey, Tormund, you could just have my dog." like some sort of asshole.
People
who does
got pissed at that. Yeah.
Yo, I'm mad at that. You don't just give your dog away.
That dog was there for you through everything. And yeah, it's not like you look. We can't have you. Look, he's biting the baby, you know, or the kid's allergic or something. It's like I don't want to give him up, but I'm gonna send him to somebody more loving and caring that will take care of him. He goes, "You take care of him. I got to do this." And the dog's just sitting. I mean, it's a wolf. Was looking at him, like, are you gonna come over and pet me or something? Or he just kind of looked at it and just walked away. Like, I'm not dealing with this.
Sending you a picture right now.
But he's really kind of an asshole.
But here's the thing that I just realized the other day. I just thought of is that
yes, I saw this. With,
the Panucci's Pizza.
What's the dog's name?
Seymour.
No.
Ghost.
Ghost. So it's Ghostface photoshopped on the dog from the
Seymour from Futurama sitting in front of Panucci's Pizza waiting for Fry.
Which I still will say is one of the saddest things ever.
I posted that and people were like, fuck you. And I was like, sorry. But here's the thing that I realized like a couple days ago. And I don't know, like, and the main problem with this is the time jumps in the show.
Right.
But if Ghost went with Tormund, that means if they get in trouble down at the south with Cersei, Bran could always warg into Ghost and alert them and get the wildlings to come down and help. But I don't know if there's enough time for that to happen because King's Landing is 1,000 miles away from like where the Starks are, and they get there in like 5 minutes because everything is fast travel now.
Or you have the old Zelda warp whistle where you play the whistle and the tornado comes and takes you. And,
picks you up.
That'd be
I don't
great.
know. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
All I do know is this.
Sansa became Littlefinger though, and I like that.
That is true. She's very
She totally became Littlefinger.
She set it up for everyone to die except for Jon.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
She's a bit of a bitch.
Maybe Sansa will take the throne and just be like, yep, I got it. At the end of the day, I don't even know why they're fighting for the throne. The only people who wanted the throne was Cersei and Daenerys. Like, no one else really, truly cared about it. The North was all like, yo, we got to worry about these zombies. And after zombies are done, it's like, do we really need to kill Cersei? Do we need the throne? Like,
I would like to see them explore the North past where the wall used to be. Go through that area. All the zombies are dead. See what's over there. What was...
Yeah, go clear it out. Like, there might be some good loot.
Yeah, you might find gold, you know?
There might be a better kingdom. There might be some more allies.
What was in that cave? It's an oil pocket. We never have to work again.
Yeah, what's in this cave? More dragons. There's so many dragons. There's a whole flock of dragons.
Well, speaking of flocks of dragons, I think that's what next week's episode is, according to that teaser at the end of last week's episode, where you see Euron on the ship, and he just kind of looks up. Like, the whole crew looks up, and you're hearing some kind of... but it's like multiple noises. So I think there's more dragons coming. Well, here's the thing. There was a period one of the dragons disappeared for a little while. Remember? She had 2 dragons for a little bit, and then the third one just showed back up again?
Yeah.
So my theory is either that dragon knew of a female dragon somewhere, and then had laid eggs, and now those dragons are matching up.
They were the only dragons for like thousands of years, or something like that.
Well, then where are all those other dragons coming from then?
I don't know if there is other dragons. I think it might just be the one dragon, and he's just fucking badass.
Nah.
Remember the dragon that got killed in the last episode was the one that was healing up. Like, he was already weak.
Yeah.
And that's why it got shot out of the air, because there was a lot of people online because, George R. Martin or whatever literally had said that an adult it would be impossible to shoot a healthy adult dragon out of the air. Like, they're just too good. So it seems odd that one would get shot like 18 times, But also, like, how do they reload those things so fast? Those bolts were like the size of trees. I got so many questions. Why didn't Cersei just literally mow down Daenerys and her army of 15 people when they were all just sitting there? Like, there's so many stupid things. Because she could have ended the war right there. She could have been like, all right, fire. All right, they're all dead. I win the throne. Done. Game over. But that's not dramatic.
But what if it's that situation where the like, say they found a power-up, like it turns into Pokemon, so the dragon's like that Charmander thing, and then all of a sudden it does the Pokemon power-up thing, and now it's that big Charizard.
That would be kind of funny.
It's like you just see it, like you hear in the bloom, 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 it just grows out of nowhere, and they're like, oh shit.
I mean, who knows? Because there's like the children of the forest or whatever they are, the children of the woods, whatever they're called. Remember them? The people who made the Night King?
Right.
Maybe
I forgot about
some of them
too.
Maybe some of them survived and they'll come back and join the fight. Like, who knows? Like, anything can happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I feel like I really want to see the Hound versus Mountain fight.
That's going to happen. That's the only reason he was spared.
Well, exactly. And that's why, like, I'm looking forward to that. But I also have a hunch, and not like I don't mean like I have a hunch. Like, I just have like a feeling that
I have a hunch I'm after you.
Yes.
Hungry,
do you? I don't know.
You're hungry like the wolf.
I am hungry like the wolf. The wolf that's now with Tormund.
Yes.
Oh. But if the Mountain and the Hound start fighting, and it looks like the Mountain is going to kill the Hound, do you think Arya will jump in to try and save the Hound, and then will something happen to Arya because the Mountain or because the Mountain would just fucking wreck Arya?
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I'll go with that.
Because remember, like when they were riding, because at the last scene where we saw Arya, the Hound's riding in, he was like, "I have unfinished business," and then she said, "Me too." And he's like, "Would you leave me for dead again?" And she was basically said yes, but I feel like that was a lie. So I think if the Mountain is going to kill the Hound, I think Arya would jump in and try and kill that person, and then maybe the Hound would get some energy back. I don't know, but I feel like something's going to happen between Arya, the Mountain, and the Hound this week, and I don't know why. I just have just a gut feeling.
Maybe it's the third threesome that everybody's been waiting for.
Oh, duh.
And with that music, that means we need to get out of here. So let's go do the plugs. Giddles, what do you have?
Giddlebase on the Twitter, Instagram, Xbox Live, and coming up May 19th, I am doing a taco takedown in Brooklyn. And it's going to be great. So come eat tacos.
Where do they go for information?
Taco. Go to thetakedowns.com to get tickets and information.
Anything else, or is that it?
Tacos.
For me, it's IHeartRadio across the board. But more important, it's Erik Nagel across the board on social media. Follow us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on the YouTube channel. 651-SMITHERS is the phone number. If you want to leave a message to be used on future programs, at 651-764-8437. I don't think there's anything else going on here that we need to talk about. It's been a long show, people. I apologize. We've been doing 2 hours lately. We should really be cutting it down.
Yes, we should be cutting it down. It's too long, Eric.
Too long indeed.
When we go live again, we could probably do 2 hours. But I think, because it'll be easier. So we'll have, people yelling at us. And they'll be like, "You're talking too much." I'll be like, "We'll show you talking too much. We're going to stay on forever."
Everyone's going to point out, "Look at that cup in Giddle's studio."
And I'll be like, "Oh shit, why is there a cup in my studio?
I don't
drink
go to
from
Starbucks."
cups.
Yes, exactly. Until the next time, everybody, be excellent to each other.
And have a wonderful time.
And we'll be seeing you.
It's Erik Nagel.
Let's make our heels together. Oh, yeah. And pray we live forever. Oh, yeah. We just learned our lesson and we want to go home. Our home. Way home. Just say home. We really, really want to go home. Oh, the rainbow. I wanna go home. I wanna go home.
Alas, we're out of time.
Follow It's Erik Nagel on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. For ways to listen to the show, go to itseriknagel.com. And remember to tell 2 friends so they can tell 2 friends.
And they can tell 2 friends.
And they can tell 2
And those 2
friends.
friends. And those 2 friends can tell 2 friends.